Good evening and welcome to the last discussion board for American Christian Heritage. I would like to talk to you tonight about the person of L. Nelson Bell, 1894 to 1973. Despite his lack of theological training, Bell's biblical worldview, his unwavering character, and his influence on Christian evangelicalism and fundamentalism is encouraging to the Christian of the 21st century. A practical reason for the research is to help the Christian clarify a pertinent perspective regarding the church and the responsibility of Christians in America. I will focus on the aspects of Bell's family, faith, and fundamentalism. I researched Ruth Graham Bell's biography, celebrating an extraordinary life, to gather personal nuggets that demonstrated the overwhelming priority of family to Bell and his wife Virginia and their 4 children. Their legacy continues today. Faith encompassed every area of his life, from the time when he was a young boy to the call of medical missions in China, and then to the call to missions to the church in America. He set his mind to live by his convictions according to the Word of God. 2 of Bell's books, Convictions to Live By and While Men Slept, cite his love for God and the Bible. L. Nelson Bell was always living the gospel out loud. Sean Lucas, a senior Presbyterian pastor, a professor of church history, and author, described Bell as a vastly underrated leader in 20th century evangelicalism in a 2014 article published in Christian Living. Bell published several successful surgeries in medical journals, but it was evident that the gospel was priority to Bell in everyday life. His work within the prisons, training Chinese doctors for the mission, as well as new hospitals, and the work of recruiting other American doctors while in China, for the sake of the gospel, are cited in John Pollock's biography, A Foreign Devil in China, written at the request of Billy Graham. The research will include also his fundamental conservative position in and out of the Presbyterian Church. This research will illuminate a Christian's responsibility in society, as Bell addressed social and political issues and voiced a conservative stand on abortion, capital punishment, civil rights, and public education. There is one area that I disagree with Bell, and that was the controversial issue of segregation. I will also highlight Bell's role in the Southern Presbyterian Journal. This quote from the first issue of the SPJ is what piqued my interest, as Bell wrote in the editorial in 1942, and I quote, "The situation to which we are a part of is perched precariously on the edge of an abyss. This is obvious to all, whether in or outside the church. It is to blame in so far it has left its God-given task of preaching the gospel, turned from faith and the preaching of the Bible as truly and wholly the Word of God, substituted for the gospel of redemption as a program of social reform, stepped out of its spiritual role to meddle as the church in political and economic matters. The gospel message has been diluted." And that was 1942, class. It's important to note that Bell was sounding the alarm for the Presbyterian Church, yet it could be true of the many new and declining denominations of that time, as well as the American church today, sadly. A brief history of the Presbyterian Church and its evolving liberal theology will be necessary to highlight why Bell took advantage of the opportunity to address the ever-changing theology of the church. Bell played a major role in Christianity today, and I will conclude with his devotion and service to the ministry of his son-in-law, Billy Graham. It's been a great ride. I pray you all finish well, and blessings for summer. Good night.